So let's just settle into our meditation posture as we're now in this Sakadawa time. So anything we do in this period in relation to the Dharma is extremely beneficial. So we can rejoice in that. Extra specially beneficial. So let's just take a nice deep breath and relax. Let the day go. And let's just try and bring our mind to the same place our body is. And the feet are down, perhaps they're supported by a cushion. And make sure your legs are in a parallel position and not crossed. Unless, of course, you're sitting in the regular cross-legged meditation posture. And then it's really helpful if you have tight knees and hips to have a couple of cushions under each knee. Your sits bones raised. And that helps to align the spine, and also it helps with if you have tight hips and knees. So 2 to 4 inches is good. Some people might need higher. Hands in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And let's just imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. And the crown of the head is reaching for the ceiling. And the head is slightly tipped forward. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. If they were open, you'd be looking at a spot about 2 inches ahead. And the tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Relax the jaw. And let's just bring our awareness to the scalp at the top of the head, the crown, and just relax that area there. It's almost as if, I don't know if you did this here in America, but when we were children in Australia, we would imagine we were breaking an egg on the top of the head, and we would pump the fist and then just kind of like tickle the head of the person, as if that's the egg kind of like rolling down the scalp. So you can just imagine that, perhaps just someone pretend egg breaking on the top of the head and just relaxing. So you relax the whole of the top of the scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the back of the eyes, the eye socket, the nose, the cheeks, area around the mouth, the jaw. And bring your awareness to the back of the head, the scalp there, and just relax the occipital bone, the scalp around the occipital bone, and relax the ears, the temple, the jaw, back of the tongue. Release any tension in the back of the neck and the shoulders, and allow the shoulder blades just to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, the limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're breathing in. And as you're exhaling, and it's a little bit warmer as you're exhaling. If you can hear any sounds, any noise, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to have the mind wander off to investigate. And if it is, just notice what it is that's distracting you or attracting you. And then allow those sounds to fade into the background as you focus on your mind. And just notice the thoughts that are arising, feelings, emotions, abiding and falling. And just be aware all the time that things change, thoughts change. So what's acutely painful today may not be so tomorrow. So anyway, just allow those thoughts to flow without necessarily engaging with them, without judging them, criticizing yourself. And just be sitting on the bank of the river there, watching that river of mental moments flow by. And while you're sitting on the bank of the river, you are free from the river. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. And this is our friends, our loved ones, our beloveds, those people we are in constructive relationships with, supportive friendships. And then those people who we have some difficulty with. And then there's those people who are strangers to us. And again, I was traveling about in the car today, on the freeway this time. Thousands of people I passed. Ahead of me, behind me, driving too slowly. And then I didn't think really. I don't remember their faces. These are strangers. I was in the store today as well, a couple of stores. I saw many people. One of the people in Whole Foods asked me if I could find everything. And I just kind of didn't think about him again. So these are strangers. They kind of flow in and out of our life fleetingly. And although we do this meditation almost every day, when I'm actually in the moment, I'm not catching that I don't care about that person as much as the person I'm actually with, who's my friend. And of course we would say, of course that makes sense. But one thing that we could start thinking about and start striving for is having equal concern for the friend, the enemy, and the stranger. At any time in our life, they can change place. This is why we need to be careful, super careful, of those relationships that are precious to us. This friend, this enemy, and this stranger, they all want to be happy. They all want to avoid suffering, just like we do. And they all, just like we, have this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So I just think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life. And don't strain yourself. If you can't fit all the strangers in your mind, that's okay, just as many as you can. If the enemy's too painful, you can just keep him at a little bit of a distance, him or her. But it's just to even have a wish to be able to start thinking this way a little bit more spontaneously is fantastic. So we just try, we do the best we can. And then we do this meditation for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. And there's welcome, Manuel. Okay, so let's sincerely regret from the depths of the heart anything you have done to any living being to harm them today, in this life, or in any of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And we're regretting, this is the logic, is based on karma, our past actions. Having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of future suffering. So logically, we want to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering for us in the future. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret the anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And again think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is your teacher, your Lama, however you see them, your trusted mentor, manifesting, this is their mind, manifesting in this Buddha Vajrasattva aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And although born out of mud, it is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential is born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. So he has this radiant, beautiful face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He's just really pleased to see you. And he has no judgment towards you. However it is you're showing up tonight, it's okay. No criticism. And he's looking at you and all the people of your life in exactly the same way, with love and acceptance. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people that you may have harmed recently, and just develop in your mind a wish for them to not suffer. And then remember those who have harmed you, and although this is a little bit more difficult, we have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of these sentient beings, and just think, I must purify for their sake. So next is the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine. We do the practice of purification using light and nectar and mantra recitation. So first, let's purify the body. So Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, again, like coming out of a hose, powerful hose, or from a waterfall. And this pours into you from his heart, enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And just imagine it just keeps pouring into you and filling you up until it forces out, pushes out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And it pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is a purification of speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's just the same kind of thing as when you turn on a tap in a sink and you're filling a dirty glass. So maybe a glass that's had milk and bits and pieces in it. And that just, all the junk just kind of flows to the top, floats to the top, and then it overflows. Except this time, you can imagine this light from Vajrasattva's heart comes into the crown of your head, fills you completely, and it's a bit more powerful than just overflowing. It just kind of, you can also imagine it shoots out of the top of the head. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, being divisive. And also, I mean, you can include in their useless speech, speech that's careless, sort of making jokes that kind of end up hurting people's feelings, actually. So think about that. And imagine that all is purified by this mantra and this powerful nectar filling you. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. Think how amazing that would be, is that through a habit to be careless perhaps, all of a sudden we're incredibly vigilant, and everything that comes out of our mouth is of benefit to others. And that includes what we type into text and email and WhatsApp, Facebook. So next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. The light instantly dispels the darkness, doesn't it? So just as the light hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness, the anger, depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta mebo sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So again, be delighted. All your delusions, which are the cause of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, just imagine this totally gone. And then think there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of body, speech and mind. So this time Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. But you can, if you wish, you can do a couple of mantras each for the visualization of the body and of the speech and of the mind. And or you can imagine light and nectar filling you completely as we recite the mantra, and it eradicates the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind and the potential to do any harm in the future. As we recite the mantra, Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anurakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So feel now you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is a power of resolve. And first of all, just rejoice in the efforts that you've been making for ever such a long time now. And then think if there's something that you would like to work on between now and tomorrow. Maybe something to do with your speech. I don't know if anyone had a grandmother that used to say something like, think before you speak, something like that. So maybe we can think that we just develop this aspiration to refrain from whatever habit it is that we have that has a tendency to cause problems in our life. And we can refrain from doing that for a short time, a long time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, however long you can manage. So think carefully and decide to refrain. Make a decision. This determination to not do again is what gives us the strength to change. And just imagine now Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE would call that union oneness. And then think, as Rinpoche recommends, to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. And place your mind in that emptiness for a little while. And just we think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Ho tub shul chang shin jam gon Galloway, Tenzing kyong pelway kunzo dog porze, chog sum kuraway leg mon to drub, pa dag sog dulje gondu jab ten shog. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we are, gone like a dream. I don't know what's happening, but life seems to be going extremely fast. I mean, it's like Thursday already tomorrow. I don't know what's happening. As I get older, it seems to go faster. I'm not sure. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Sleep well, take care, and thank you for hosting, Mary, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.